walks in with a dominant presence. Voice cuts deep like a sermon with essence. Gia steps up, pure elegant grace. Beauty with brains puts the world in its place. They light the mic, that truth ignites, burning through the fake in the dead of night. No labels, no camps, no tribal cage. They're carving out truth on an empty page. They're relentless warriors, forged like Thor. Modern Viking knocking down every door. You can't pin them down, can't put them in a box. They'll stomp it flat and break your locks. Ceilings, please, they leap sky high, shattering limits you set with a lie. They'll lead in the way, believe that. No simps, no saints, no soft disguise. They see through the games and the alibis. They're not here to please, they're here to lead. Truth and balance, yeah, that's the creed. It was boom, plenty of truth on fire. They're calling out the world's desire. From fake ideals to moral decay, they're lighting up the modern age. No one's safe, not the church, not fame. They're flipping the script, rewriting the game. Love and logic, heart and soul, saving the truth for this nation's soul.
Ryan, and today we are going to be interviewing people in the streets of Cleveland. So I have a bunch of questions lined up that I think all of you guys are going to really enjoy. So let's get started. Are you in a relationship?
Yes.
Are you in a relationship?
No.
Are you in a relationship?
I am not.
Have you ever been in a relationship?
Yes.
Are you in a relationship?
I am not.
Have you ever been in a relationship?
No, not really.
Have you ever been in a relationship?
No. Yes.
Are you in a relationship?
Yes.
How long?
4 years.
Ooh, wow. Okay. How'd you meet?
We worked together at a rec center through the city of Cleveland.
Are you guys in a relationship?
No.
I am. A little bit over a year.
Are you in a relationship?
No, unfortunately.
Have you ever been in a relationship?
No, unfortunately.
Okay. Have you ever cheated? Have you ever been cheated on?
No.
Have you ever cheated?
Never.
Have you ever been cheated on?
Yeah, once.
Have you ever cheated?
No.
Have you ever been cheated on?
Yes.
Oof, tell me.
It was, well, long story short, it was a country concert, and I did not go with her, and then one thing led to another.
Alcohol involved?
Yes. And after, I tried to make it work, but it just didn't work out.
Because the trust is gone at that point, yeah. Have you ever cheated?
No.
Have you ever been cheated on?
Possibly. I don't know.
Have you ever cheated?
No.
Oh, I don't know if I believe that one. Have you ever been cheated on?
No.
And have you ever cheated?
No.
Have you ever been cheated on?
Yeah.
Hi, what's your name?
Hello,
What's your name?
I'm Edwin. Nice to meet you. Is this a debate on why body count doesn't matter?
Probably not. I've been waiting since August 2024 for a debate because this is a facts over feelings debate, and none of you guys have been able to bring anything other than ego dysfunction or indoctrination.
So you think that body count doesn't matter?
No. I know body count doesn't matter because of facts. Let me do my spiel on you. Let me see if you're smarter. No. If you're going to talk when I'm talking, you're definitely dumber. So let me see if you're smarter than the other ones, okay? This is a facts over feelings debate, not an individualized debate. I don't debate you on you because you can go do whatever you want and we don't care. You pick who you want, you do what you want. We don't debate you on you because we're not here to interfere with you doing you. We debate this in a factual or scientific way only because I'm not here to change you in any way, shape, or form, which is why you're not the subject. That means you don't start a sentence with, I think, I feel, my opinion, my experience. We do facts or science only. So let me ask you this. Are you here for a facts over feelings debate, yes or no?
No, I think body count doesn't matter. Well,
There you go.
I've experienced that body count doesn't matter.
Exactly. I know body count doesn't matter.
Because people call me a hoe and stuff for my past, but I don't even do anything no more. First of all, I don't have any sexual interactions with people. I don't do anything anymore. But
So
people,
body count doesn't matter because us logical people know that just because you did it in the past doesn't mean you're still doing it today. And who you say you did or didn't do doesn't matter because what matters more is who you are. And if you're not what we're looking for, we don't care what your body count is, we reject you. If you are what we're looking for, we're not dumb enough to reject you because you had consensual sex before we met you.
You're really well spoken.
Thank you.
You're really well spoken. I'll give you that. All right. Well,
yeah, body count doesn't matter. Did you hear that shit? Yo, you could get rent. Never mind. Good back. Welcome back, everybody.
What's up, everybody? It's Gia MaCool.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Glenn Lawrence. And well, today we are learned from this lady on Instagram that body count does not matter because she says so. Because she says she has facts.
Facts over feelings.
I wonder if she has any feeling at all in certain areas.
Well, we're gonna have her on the show eventually. We're gonna, yeah.
Maybe not after she.
But anyways, we're gonna get into that later. Today we're gonna be like debunking, like, does it or doesn't it? Like, finally, once and for all, we are going to go over what the data says on it, right? What the facts say on it, and then we are going to give our opinions. But we're going to be mainly presenting the facts.
But before we get into that, let's hear what everybody else is saying.
Yes, let's do some more reactions.
Is if you're like quite a committed, loving guy, you'll find out all the details of your girl's past, and it is brutal. It broke me. It honestly broke me. For months, I was so unhappy and anxious, and I was so bonded with this woman. She was my first everything, so bonded with her. But I could never look at her the same way because I had literally seen the pictures and the profiles of the men that had her before me. It ruined an amazing relationship. She was such a sweet girl. But I could never look at her the same way. The problem is if you're like quite a committed, loving guy,
yeah. So what do you think about that, Gia?
All the details.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see
like everything was great until I learned about her past.
Yeah,
like I loved her. Everything. She was wifey, and then I learned about that gangbang of the summer 2019.
I think that we have to, like, when I hear the previous video of her saying it doesn't matter, that's coming from a woman. Like, I don't think it's fair to only listen to what women think about it and not listen to what men think about it. And I think that what these reaction videos are going to show is that men have a very different view on that. And we're going to be getting into the facts of why.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the next video.
Hey guys before me.
Why does that matter? That was before you.
Past behavior predicts future behavior.
So you're judging me?
I want a wife, not a community project.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Does body count really matter? Fellas, do you really care how many men your woman's been with before you? Or does it just matter that she's with you now? Women, do you lie about your body count? And if you do, why? Because if body count doesn't matter, if you've been with 50 men, it shouldn't matter, right? Or do you lie because deep down you know it matters to men? I don't know. I have my
very wholesome, stable girl. The type of girl you want to knock up, low body count.
Hold up.
It's so much to be like this.
So I just want to comment on something. So he was right. If body count didn't matter, then no one should have to lie about it.
Well, I mean, if that's not necessarily true, because you could say it doesn't matter, but everybody, you could say this doesn't affect this thing. And it could be objectively true, but everybody societal wise may not like this thing. So therefore them knowing about this thing, they're going to look at you differently. Therefore the way that they impact you does matter. Right. So how people
if society sees it in a different way, we need to get into why.
Exactly. but normally society sees it a different way, don't see it a different way. They see it for what it is. Like this, like body count matters. It's a bad thing. And then if you're saying, well, body count doesn't matter, and then everybody still looks at you as like you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's because objectively they know that it does matter, and you just don't want them to make it matter. You want it to mean less than it does. You know what I'm saying? Like, so all right, let's go. This one is kind of funny. I'm not even gonna get to the Ben Chappelle part because this guy's just kind of funny.
Very wholesome, stable girl. The type of girl you want to knock up. Low body count. I'm like the third guy she's ever been with.
It's so to be like this, okay? And so many people disagree with me. This is a hot take. This is what they call hot takes, okay? Having someone that you love with a low body count because you need them to not have been with many guys, you're a... Also, stop calling it a body count like you're Jason Voorhees. Do I want a woman who's been with one or two men? Brother, what, are you out of your mind? As a matter of fact, you could argue that if your wife has slept with more guys, that she's with you because she likes you and not because she doesn't know about things. Oh, dude, he figured it out.
This is stupid.
Okay, so
wait, I want to hear what he said, though. I want to hear what he said.
You want Ben Shapiro?
I just want to hear what he said at the end.
Very wholesome, stable girl. The type of girl you want to knock up. Low body count.
Man, what, are you out of your mind? As a matter of fact, you could argue that if your wife has slept with more guys, that she's with you because she likes you and not because she doesn't know about things. Oh, dude, he figured it out.
This is the stupidest thing I ever heard. The reason that body count, so-called body count matters is because it goes to character and how people treat sex. Do they treat it casually? Do they treat relationships casually? Do they treat it with sanctity? These are all values questions that manifest in behavior.
Very wholesome, stable girl. The type of
So-
girl you want to knock up. Low body count.
What do you think about that?
Third
For
guy
what-
she's ever been with.
I think
so
I
to be
think
like this.
I
Okay,
think that's
and-
correct. I
Yeah, I
do.
think
I
that's
honestly, you know, what we value in life and our qualities do come out. You know, like depending on who we decided to spend our lives with. I just don't see any. So we'll get into that later.
Let's listen to this chick. This is kind of funny.
Concept of body count in under 90 seconds. Let's go. So if you've been living under a rock, some men, often in the red pill movement, have been using body count, the number of men women have slept with, as a metric to determine a woman's value in the sexual marketplace. The higher the body count, the lower her loyalty and value. Now we can talk about why this is unfair to women, but no, I want to stay on the man's perspective and why this belief goes against their own benefit. Women who grow up actually believing these men, that their body count is reflective of their value, are inherently taught to reject their own sexuality, which non-surprisingly creates an entire laundry list of issues for men down the line. The types of men who think women should have a low body count really stems from one of two core beliefs. One, women don't actually like sex. So if they have sex, something is inherently wrong with them. Or two, women actually do like sex, but have to withstand their urges at every level or they will be judged or punished, thus causing the shame trigger. By parading around that you
Shame
have these
trigger.
beliefs, you will only be able to attract these types of women, women who don't actually enjoy sex or women who have an unhealthy relationship with sex. This is why you often hear these red pill guys, the few of them have actually had marriages and relationships, complain that the women they're seeing stop sleeping with them over time. I'm going to make it real simple for you guys. If you want to attract a woman that likes having sex with you, you're going to have to attract a woman that likes having sex, period. And that woman will probably have a history of having sex. And if
No,
loyalty
that's
is what you're concerned about, good news. There are way more accurate metrics to test for that, and none of which include body count. And if you want to know what those are, follow for part 2. Debunking the concept of body count in under 90 seconds. Let's go. So if you've been
All right.
What do you think?
So
about
that she's coping a lot. That's a lot of coping. Okay.
Seriously.
Listen, it doesn't, she's taking extreme. She's basically doing a false equivalency. She's saying that
Somebody comes in for-
women who have never been, women who are virgins or who don't have a body count aren't going to like sex. That's a lie. Okay. We already know that. That can be debunked. I can have several women who only had one or two or no bodies and they love sex. Okay. Then she's saying that the ones that do love sex had tons of bodies. Again, that's you can find women who have had lots of sex and don't like sex, or end up getting in marriages and don't give their husband sex. Like, it's false equivalency. It's not correct. It's absolutes.
All right, here we go. Let's hear what Patrick Bet David said.
For job interview. And in the last 5 years, they've had 20 jobs. How do you look at them? It's a problem. It's a problem. Somebody
Something's
comes for a
wrong.
job interview and they're 32 years old. And from 22 till 32, they've worked at 2 companies. How do you look at them?
Yeah, positive.
Positive. I sit there and I say, wow, the same exact way we don't like to see people with too many jobs on their resume. We don't like to see too many boyfriends and body count on the resume. Somebody comes in for a job interview, and in the last 5 years, they've had 20 jobs. How do you
What do
look
you
at
think
it?
about?
I mean,
That's a problem.
that's just
Somebody
common
comes for a
sense.
job interview, and they're 32
So-
years old, and from 22 till 32, they've worked at 2 companies. How do you look at it?
Yeah, positive.
Positive. I sit there and I say, wow, the same exact way we don't like.
Sorry.
I don't have.
Now, what do you think about that one? With the job interview thing?
I have done some videos on this, and I've described just plain psychology, like what goes through a person's head, their mentality, right? Once they have lost their virginity. And we know the first time a woman like loses her first, okay, they break up or they, no longer together. She goes through a very, very hard time through that breakup, but she cries for weeks, it's very difficult. And then the next guy that comes along, she'll cry a little bit less and a little bit less, right? So it's just common sense to know that if you are cycling through people, the more you cycle through people, the less and more easier it is to move on to the next. So everything he's saying to me, Patrick, it's dead on. Like that shows somebody who can't stick to their word.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, well, let's just watch our last video.
Have any problems with a man desiring a woman with a low body count. I have a problem with the who sit on the internet and comment about women that they don't have a chance with. I have an issue about who are not on their square talking about women that they don't have access to. I have a problem with men who expect women to adhere to a set of standards that they don't adhere to. That's who I have a problem with. And those are the niggas I'm talking to. If you on your bruh, and that's what you practice and that's what you desire, do what work for you, you feel me? But it's a certain group of, and for real, we bring body count up often. So at the point that you saw that clip, I'm frustrated because it's gonna be in the comments of this clip when it comes out who don't have access to 5% of the women in this room, and they worried about who they.
All right. So
what do you think about that one?
There's a lot of truth to it, right? There's a lot of truth to it in the sense
like
of
what parts?
There's a bunch of people online bitching and complaining about women that, one, not their wives, two, they would never have any opportunity to get with. So why do you care what that woman's doing?
Online is just all cope mainly, anyways. A lot of it is.
Let's get into some of the chat here real quick, because people are saying stuff to us and we want to say hi and acknowledge them. We got Toxic Angel. He says, hey, Glenn, how you doing? We got Dissident Servitude says, why are we the only ones in the chat? Oh, you're in X. You're on X. That's why. Then Uncle Fatty says, the only acceptable answer to the body count question is, are you the best ever? You know what? We got something for that.
Yeah.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Dapple Man 81 says, because it affects a woman's biology. Oxytocin is a bonding chemical. More people that women have sex numbs them. Past behaviors affect future behavior.
I've actually done a tweet on that. I had a tweet go viral. I said exactly that.
Old damn hillbilly says, wow. 50 Shades of Bitch says, hi Glenn, hope you're good. Hi panel, hi everyone. Hello,
hey,
50
guys.
Shades of
Hey. Nice to have you guys
And,
on the show. Listening. Appreciate all your comments.
Rude cunt crab. They insinuate the cunt part in there, his name. He says body count don't matter. It's a number, but it signals of issues of and causes that potentially lead to bigger body count. So does it matter?
I understand what he's trying to say. He's saying that the larger the body count, it can signal issues with that person. Like it.
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's basically showing it does show pattern. Like you have to analyze pattern behavior. I think anybody who doesn't do that is really just ignorant. You have to look at patterns,
That's one hell of a beard, says our good friend.
What's up, Jay?
What up, man? And the little leprechaun out of Texas says, yo, yo, yo. And he says, speaking of country concerts, a former co-worker's ex-girlfriend cheated on him with Jason. Well, sucks to be him, I guess. So does body count matter?
Yeah, let's get into the facts. Let's get into the facts because I don't want to give opinions or feelings on it or personal experiences. Like we'll do that later.
Yeah.
Let's get into the actual facts of it.
So we know that premarital sex is linked to divorce. So that right there, you can conclude that. And here's the data, you guys, for you guys want to see it.
Yeah, if you guys want to go check out some of this stuff, you can go look on the National Survey of Family Growth. We'll show you that anything with 10 or more has the most likely to divorce, right? And anything under 9 is less likely to divorce. And women with 0 to 1 were the least likely to divorce. Okay. So that right there, those are the studies. Now, people get really upset with this, right? Because when you give them data, they want to argue their experiences or their opinion or whatever on it. And I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm not telling you either or is bad. I'm not telling women that, have had lots of body count are bad. That's not what we're doing here. We're just showing data, like what they've done with studies of groups of women and men to see who is more likely to stay in a relationship. So that's what we're going to discuss right now.
And so right here, like the abstract says, like the premarital sex predicts divorce, but they don't know why. Scholars have attributed the relationship to factors such as differences in beliefs and values, but these explanations have not yet been tested. But we do know, all right, that it is further unclear how this relationship changes the number of sexual partners or differs by gender. We re-examined this relationship with event history models using data from the National Longitudinal Study of Adolescence to Adult Health. The model included measurements of adolescent beliefs and values, religious background, and personal characteristics, as well as approximate number of premarital sexual partners in young adulthood. We find the relationship between premarital sex and divorce is highly significant and robust when accounting for early life factors compared to people with no premarital partners other than the eventual spouse. So those with 9 or more partners exhibited a higher divorce risk. Followed by those 1 to 8 partners, there was no evidence of gender differences. So,
yeah, because you have to look at consistency. Again, we're going to go back to patterns, like pattern behaviors, right? Because this is not about a moral judgment. Like we're not doing moral judgments, okay? This has nothing to do with that. We're just observing patterns through research. So if you look at the consistency of what somebody does throughout their past to going forward and how they commit to those patterns, right? And how self-sex selection is either showing instability or stability, then you have to show why somebody who doesn't stay stable or consistent in their relationship does affect their ability to stay consistent in future relationships. That's only fair. Like that's just common sense. Anyone can agree with that.
So here's the number of sexual partners in a lifetime, right? The median number of the opposite sex partners in a lifetime among sexual experience, women and men, aged 25 to 49, right? So, and this was taken from 2015 to 2019. The average number, right? The medium number was 4.3 for women and 6.3 for men.
Yeah. So to me, that's showing that while body count doesn't necessarily tell you destiny, it does give a good indicator of that person's patterns, like how they're going to behave going forward.
And then right here, it tells you like the percentage distribution of sexual experience women and men had between 25 to 49 years of age by the number of opposite sex sexual partners in a lifetime. So, so based on like the variables of the numbers, opposite sexual partners, sexual experience in ACASI means respondent has had vaginal, oral, or anal sex with a partner of the opposite sex. And you can just see the percentages, right? A 1, it's low. They're low. It's a good thing, right? Let me go to this other one here. This study
Yeah. Do you have the graphs?
I do have the graphs. Let me pull those up here in a minute. Let me pull this study up first. Here we go. There's this one. Wait a minute, wrong one. Didn't even do anything. Stupid. All right. Now it will. Okay. So, oh no, I already did this one. Sorry, my bad. Let me get the graphs up real quick. There we go. What does this graph show?
Okay, so I sent you a few of them, right? So you can do the ones
Oh,
before.
there's
This is
figure
the-
one.
Okay, so chances of divorce after 5 years of marriage. So this is showing you the patterns, right? Again, depending on the partners, okay, how many people they've had, and whether or not, what does it show? Like, what does it show whether they're going to be divorced or stay in the relationship? What's the percentages? So you can see, of course, less partners equal less chance of divorce. Again, that's showing that. The other graph was on religion, right? So if they had a spiritual background, if they were in a community that was, and again, I say this a lot online, I talk about this a lot. We lack the community, especially for women, which historically our community, church, other women was what kept women in line. It's what usually would shame women or tell women, no, this is not acceptable, right? It would keep women in line. We don't have that anymore. Now, social media, anything goes. And women are going online and using their community as social media, and that's telling them what's okay and what's not okay.
So are you saying bitches don't want to be kept in line?
Everybody needs guidelines and structure.
I'm just asking you. You said churches keeping these.
I just think that, like when that we can pull this, we need to do a whole episode on this. We need to pull all the data on how women behave with a spiritual background, with a Bible background, like whether it be in their church, in their religion, like there is a very different way that women
Are you talking about like women that are devout? Like devout, devoted? Okay.
Women that, have that background, that spiritual background, they fare better in marriage. Like we know
I can tell you, like, there's a lot of women in church.
because we have to remember that what people call themselves, like when people say that I'm a Christian, they're not. Majority of people are not Christians. Okay, they are secular. They say that they are, like all the people wearing crosses on their necks. They can say that all day long, but they don't really practice it. You see. A lot of people do not practice what they preach.
So this is a study, sexual partner number and distribution over time affect long-term partner evaluation evidence from 11 countries and across 5 continents. All right. Abstract says a perspective of partner's sexual history provides important information that can be used to minimize mating-related risks. Such information includes the number of past sexual partners, which has an inverse relationship with the positive suitors evaluation. However, sexual encounters with new partners vary in frequency over time, providing an additional dimension of context previously not considered. Across 3 studies, right, with 15 samples, we demonstrate that the impact of past partner numbers on the suitor desirability as long-term partner varies as a function of distribution over time. All right, so using the graphical representation of suitors' sexual history, we found that past partners' numbers effects were smaller when the frequency of new sexual encounters decreased over time. This moderation effect shows stronger and often covalenter. I don't know the word is.
Okay, so for the viewers that need like a 5th grade comprehension on that, what it's basically saying is that inconsistent emotional investment. So the more people cycle through sexual partners, it's showing inconsistent emotional investment. Okay, that is why the less body count that they have, they usually have more emotional investment in that person, which helps keep that relationship lasting. And I think that that's the nuance that gets lost online.
Yeah.
And those patterns will carry out a marriage,
This is like the graph that they're using. So this image, past partner numbers and distribution of partners over time from part of a potential suitor sexual history, which in combination with disease avoidance mechanisms informs partners assessment and subsequent mate choice. An assessment moderated by mating strategies, right? So then this graph says the effects of past partner numbers on willingness to enter in long-term relationships with a prospective partner. So A through C shows results of studies 1 to 3, respectively. Bars reflects the estimated marginal means with 95%. I don't know what that is. Abbreviation.
So can you enlarge? Can you enlarge that?
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 through 3. So A through C. 1 to 3 respectively.
So total partners.
So basically, like anything under 3 usually fared better.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is it's coinciding with all the other data that we have.
And then this one, this graph, the effect of past partner numbers and frequency distribution on willingness to enter long-term relationships show the same thing. This is just a line graph.
Okay, so for the viewers, like, why does body count matter in data? Okay, let's talk about that, because it's often a proxy for how a person has historically approached intimacy, attachment, and stability, right? Like I said before, are they emotionally invested in that relationship? If it shows the more partners they have, it shows that they invest less and less and less into those partners. So this in itself proves body count matters.
Yeah. And let's just say, like, okay, you didn't care about the number of people, right? But each time a person has sex, you're not factoring in like, oh, that's a very risky action. They could get a disease. They could get, we
haven't even gone. Yeah, that's a whole, like, we could have a whole show just on that alone,
And that's the other factor that people don't contribute when they're like, well, this is why it matters. Now, it may not be the most important thing that matters.
It's not the only thing that matters. Correct.
It may not even be like, you may not look at it as the top 3 things that matter when you're thinking about it, but you have to look at it. What does it show about this person's character? Right? They're willing to engage in an activity that is very risky with people they don't know.
Yeah.
Right? And if they tend to take a lot of risks that could harm them, and they don't really seem to care that much about it. Well, then are they going to care about risking your relationship or putting you at risk? Right?
It also exposes self-awareness. And I think this gets left offline, right? It exposes self-awareness, because the more self-aware somebody is, the more they start to understand the differences between men and women. And they also start to understand that whether you go to one guy or the next, you're going to deal with relatively the same, with some nuance, relatively the same kind of demands within that relationship. So if you lack self-awareness on yourself, and you're just cycling through people, it's showing a lack of accountability. It's showing a lack of self-awareness. It shows that you are not really noticing your patterns that are predictive of your future. So it helps you be informed. And I think that a lot of, you hear like that first video, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. It's not the only thing that matters. I agree with that, but it does matter. And men are not going to, though integrity, though loyalty, though all those other qualities are important, men aren't going to be able to see that right away. Okay. That takes time. And nobody wants to take 3 or 4 years to find out those qualities. If they can get to, hey, is this a good mate opportunity? Is this going to be good for me for the future? And one of the easiest ways to predict that is body count. It is.
Well, it's one of the easy ways to sort through, like, okay, if they exceed this amount of body count, we know the probability is negative over here. So you know what? Immediately just refuse those ones, right? You just, okay, that's an easy way to sift through them. Okay, those ones disqualified. All right. But there are other factors that do contribute that are maybe even more important than a body count. And I want to pull up that clip real quick with Dr.
And I want to make sure that I'm showing the distinction here, okay? Because we are not sitting here endorsing or encouraging you to go online and be like calling women hoes, okay? Let's
No, no, don't call women
this
hoes.
is not what we're saying to do. We're not talking about shaming. We're not talking about judging. We're talking about moral, none of that. We're talking about just in understanding the relationship and women in real life. We're talking about if you're talking to a girl in real life, okay, it is good. This is good to hear, to listen to her. She's not going to tell you the truth. Like no girl is going to come out and just tell you, but you can kind of watch. If you're good with pattern recognition, you can watch and understand these things ahead of time.
I want to play this clip because I think like when we filmed this, right? Dr. Teravad was trying to like say it without saying it, and I just said it, and then you followed up and you just said it, and it was funny. He was like, "Yeah, you're right."
Which part is that?
This one when he's talking about
yeah.
not all bodies are equal.
The most important thing for pair bonding is not about you being her first sexual experience. It's, in my opinion, more important to be the first mate.
Best.
And the best.
At best, correct.
It does. What makes body count difficult? If she's been with 50 guys ahead of me, what's the likelihood that I'm going to be better than the best of those?
Fact. That's what it comes down to.
Well, one, body count is a number you shouldn't be focused on. You should be focused on how she treats you. So that's the one objective thing that you could actually measure and actually see, right? But also, if you are her best sexual, experience, those body counts prior to probably don't matter. Like the whole alpha widow effect. Like if she's been alpha widow by somebody else, then you out alpha the alpha. So now you are the standard.
Think about it this way. If the girl that you're dating only had one body before you, only had one boyfriend, but that boyfriend was a Division I athlete who went on to play in the pros. He's made millions of dollars. He's 6'4". He's jacked and athletic. Men everywhere love him. Women everywhere are trying to get with him. And he turned her down. I don't think that you're going to be psyched that she only has one body. So not all bodies are created equal in what we're getting at here.
True.
I think
that is a very interesting fact.
Mm-hmm.
Not all bodies are created equal. And I think that kind of gets lost in the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Like online, everybody's kind of tired of the whole clickbait stuff, like talking about body count. So what we're doing today is saying, okay, yes, it matters, but are you obsessed with it? Is that all you talk about? I mean, you're not going to get the truth from her anyways. So the common sense thing is, why are you obsessed with it? Yes, it's important. We know that it's important, but you have to also factor in everything else. Like a lot of times the people who are obsessed with it are people who are not having sex anyways. Okay. So that there's that too, that isn't being said. So.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and get back into the chat here, because we got people chatting today. Justin Thiel says, I have so much to say on this subject that is usually controversial.
Send him the link. Bring him on.
All right, Justin, do you want to come on up? Are you in Gia's chat or my chat? Probably Gia's chat, because she has all the peoples. You guys need to come follow me on Twitter, assholes. I'm kidding.
We gotta play Gray's Graybeard. Gray his
okay.
That was a good one.
Pull it up.
Yeah, he's supposed to come on the show as well. We have so many people like planned for coming on the show, guys.
Yeah,
we have some good stuff planned for you guys.
We definitely do, and we're gonna stop doing this virtual thing here soon.
Well, we're always gonna have virtual, but we are gonna start doing more in-person stuff. So yeah, we're working on the studio.
So be on the lookout for that. All right, here we go. This is Graybeards. And then we're gonna get to the chat, and then I will drop the link. Cool. All right, where is it up? There we go.
Body count does not define you.
A woman's body count absolutely defines who she is. Nothing tells us more about her character and her own sense of self-worth than whether or not she gives her body away easily. Next.
Are you attracted to stable, safe men? I am now. Yeah.
Probably the most common red flag out there is when a woman lets it be known she's looking for a nice, safe, and or stable man now. The only women who say such things have been serial dating.
Okay,
And
so
serial dating is just a series of short-term flings within an occasional relationship that might last a few months.
Glenn,
Ran through.
pause that for a second.
I do not.
I want to point that out because remember I said that she's not going to tell you her body count?
No, the women lie about their
This
body
is
count.
correct. So this is the kind of stuff that guys need to listen to. It's these in between things that they're saying. Yeah, I'm looking for a stable guy now. It's these kind of things that help you understand where she's been. Okay. So just go ahead. I just wanted to point that out.
Except a coffee or a walk is a possible date option, and neither should you. We're not doing drinks either. We are doing dinner.
Simple first dates are the rule if you've never actually met in person. Women who don't understand this are the worst people on the planet. Next.
I started the egg freezing process. I did some preliminary tests which showed that my egg count is really low.
Oh, same woman a couple of years later. No lip filler, and she's heartbroken. Her dating strategy only attracted the worst men. Next. No. Christian women don't make videos showing themselves like this. If you think you're a Christian and don't understand that, I shake the dust off my feet and leave you to your misery. And side note, religious or not, nothing says a girl has multiple STDs like hand tattoos.
I am engaged, but not to my dream man. That's right, you heard me correct. I've actually dated the man of my dreams a few years back.
This is literally every woman who gets married with a body count of over 3 or 4 at the most. After 4 or 5 bodies, let alone dozens of bodies, a woman is simply jaded and emotionally empty. She'll spend the rest of her life searching for a man who made her feel the way she felt when she was still innocent. But once innocence is gone, it's gone forever.
Ladies, your body count does not define you.
A woman's...
All right, so
go ahead and react off of that. What do you think about that?
Okay, I think there's a lot of nuance when it comes to body count, right? Body count does matter. How much it matters, I think that's where the nuance is, right? It can impact long-term mating strategies, right? But I think that plays a role in if you're whether or not her sexual best or not. You know, like if you are her best and you're the standard, she's more likely going to want to stay with you. She won't be able to pair bond with you, right? She's not going to want to leave you. So that might contribute to a long-term relationship. Now, if you're not the best and she's thinking about, I don't know, Mr. Justin from the Dominance Academy, you know, and all the crazy things that he would do, then you're screwed. Yeah, it's probably not going to work out for you, you know, like, so, you know.
Do you agree with him on the ways to kind of know without them saying? Because I think the median is in the message, like when it's what people don't say that really helps you understand what is being said. And if you're self-aware, you can kind of notice that. I think the tattoos, I think he's dead on about the tattoos, about, you know, signaling certain things online, right?
I think, I would say that women that have tattoos may be a sign of craziness. And the reason why I say that, because all the women that I got with, they didn't have tattoos, but then after they left me, they had tattoos, and they're obviously crazy for doing so. So therefore, I agree with him in his assessment there. And normally it's because they got tattoos was because of me. So that even makes them even more crazier. So I think there is something there. They're mentally ill. Absolutely.
I'd like to listen to people talk, right? Because people will reveal themselves, right? So for instance, if their preference becomes a virtue, if they're constantly online talking about their preferences, I need this, I'm looking for a stable man, you know, looking for a man with it. she's turning her preferences into a virtue. Same thing with guys. Like if they go, I need a virgin, like I'm only going to marry virgin. He's turning his preference into a virtue.
Yeah, I wonder, like, when the guys are like, I need a virgin. Okay. A virgin doesn't necessarily mean she's not going to leave you.
Right. It's like, okay, you have that preference. I get it. You're entitled to your preferences. But when you make it so that everybody else, if anybody else decides on a different preference, now they're not as good as you. That's where it's a problem. It's like men saying, well, because she's not a virgin, then she's going to be a horrible person. You don't necessarily know that. Now, I do agree
She
that
could be a virgin and a horrible person.
I've seen that too, right? So that's where that's where the nuance happens.
Yeah, but nobody wants to talk about that. And this is a problem when they look at virginity and purity as in, like, no sex means good spouse. That doesn't necessarily equate to good spouse. It could lead more in that direction, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that for certain. And this is why, okay, does body count matter? Right? Yes and no. Right? It matters, but it may not matter as much as you think it matters. If you're not looking at these other factors that contribute. Right?
Because you turned something that would be like me saying, because I was a virgin when I got married, that anybody else that doesn't follow in that path is bad. That's not necessarily like, that's not for me to use my own experience onto everybody I meet. And I think that's what happens a lot online. Like people like to take their own experience or the only thing that they will allow in their life and now dictate that and make that the standard for everyone else they meet.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so let's say you're saying that body count matters. Great. But does it matter more than whether or not a person's loyal or whether or not a person is trustworthy? Or whether or not a person is, I don't know. Name some other trait that's also important.
Integrity, honesty, loyalty. Yeah.
Any of those. Does body count mean more than those things? So if you're saying, yeah, what if you got with a woman that has zero body? She's a virgin, but she's a disloyal bitch. How does her body count help you?
I've talked to a lot of men who, I shouldn't say a lot, but a handful, enough of them to tell me, hey, listen, I waited, I got married, she was a virgin, I was a virgin. And then as soon as she had her first kid, it's 10 years of no sex in the relationship. Like
no sex in the champagne room. Ugh.
So, I think that doesn't mean that because she's a virgin, she's not going to like sex. That's not what we're trying to get at, because you can find a woman who never had sex, but then she likes it with you. And then she's willing to, whatever you tell her, she molds to you. That's why we talk about building a bitch all the time. I didn't know half the things I know. My husband taught me everything I know pretty much today. All credit's due to him, but that's because I look up to him. I respect his guidance, when he tells me, hey, this is it. Okay. That's what we're doing, and that is something that all women are women. They're going to follow who they're with. That's what they do.
Yeah, women are women. Dissident, I searched it. I'm gonna hit you with the follow, so then you could. He advocates for decriminalizing and legalizing. I would love for you to come on if you want to come on. He advocates for legalization of prostitution. This will be an interesting conversation because this does circle around body count for sure. I just sent you a follow, Dissident. So you're more than welcome to hit me back, and then we could. That is hilarious. This is funny.
Where's Justin? What happened to Justin?
Where is Coach Justin? Oh, that wasn't Coach Justin that said that he had a whole lot of laundry list.
That was the other Justin.
Yeah, the other Justin. But let's actually, this is a good time to hit through the chat because man, people are in the chat. All right, so this Dappa Man said DNA from each partner she's had is stored in her body, and her child will get the partner's. That's not true, right?
So that is again a data set that leaves out the nuance of the actual data. Okay, you guys need to do a little bit more research when you see stuff online. Okay, I need you to just not take one study. Don't just take 5 studies. Take like 10, 12, and keep researching. You have to read this stuff, guys. Okay, what actually happens is she actually has to be pregnant She has to get pregnant with that man's baby for the DNA to be stored. That's the nuance left offline.
Toxic Angel says, I guess Crab likes the taste of D in her box. That's fucked up. Oh, stop. Yes, 100% patterns. I agree to that. It's mostly women that say body count doesn't matter. A lot of women do. I mean,
You're right.
really,
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
You know?
Because I mean, let's be honest. Like, you
well,
can't
because
take
a
it back.
man's body count doesn't negatively impact him.
Right. And you can't take it back. So that's why there's this back and forth, stuff. Because I do know some women that have had healthy relationships and have had, a few people that they've been with. Like, I do know that it does happen, so it's not like it's impossible, but we have to look at facts, and the facts point to what we know is body count matters.
My good friend, the Raging Patriot, said, at this point, I'll take anything with a pulse and a working baby maker. All right, there, Patriot. Uncle Fatty says, as long as expectations are managed, all turns out well. That could be, it's possible.
She has to have realistic. She has to have realistic realistic expectations. Huge.
Shepherd Man says, women like you until she finds someone better. Women like you until she finds someone better. That's a very absolute statement.
We're getting into hypergamy, which we could get into that if you want, because I dropped some tweets today that kind of.
Oh my! Did you hear about my hypergamy conversation last?
Yes, I did.
I don't want to do that again. Dissident says Gia is like attractive. She can have a high body count. Gia doesn't have a high body count.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about my exact scenario, I met my husband. I only dated one other guy before my husband, so no, I have a very, very low body count. But of course, because I've done modeling and I have like a lot of images, people automatically go whore, whore, whore. They love to do that.
They do.
It's so wrong. They're so off base.
A key that opens many locks. A lock opened by many keys is a crappy lock.
Yeah, we've heard this before. Another soundbite.
Yeah,
it's true.
Okay. So Naka says MCL 750-532 punishment. Any man who shall seduce and debauch any unmarried woman shall be guilty of felony. Should be updated. Yes. Actually, it's funny because she sent me a text message asking me this question earlier today, and I saw the bill and I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty crazy. And actually, I'll read it real quick because this was actually legislation. This was law, like not too long ago. Well, long enough ago that none of us were around, but within our, couple hundred years. And in Michigan, Michigan legislation said that is pulling it up. So this was going up. This was up until 1931, right? And it was seduction and punishment, right? So punishment: any man who shall seduce and debauch any unmarried woman shall be guilty of a felony, punishable by imprisonment in the state prison not more than 5 years, or by fine of not more than $2,500. But no persecution shall be commenced under this section after 1 year of time of committing the offense. So, like, if it's beyond a year, if you hit it and quit it, and the year passed, you can't be charged for it. But that's actually kind of interesting, because I would agree that if you're trying to say that, the hookup culture is problematic, well, legislation like that, if they implemented this law again, that would make it criminal for hookup casual sex. And but you would have to make it for both parties. You couldn't just make it for only men who sleep with women that they're not married to gets punished. If you're going to do it, it would have to be across the board.
That's interesting.
So that's kind of interesting. Turn down. Oh, my game's hot. Oh, I'm hot. Hot like fire. How about now?
Yeah, much better.
Uncle Fatty asks, is there any reliable info for the adult film industry? Like, how many stars are married and even multiple marriages and likelihood of for divorce by percentage age.
Yeah, I know what he's saying. He wants to see like how does that correlate with like women who do it as a job, and how long do they stay in marriages if these women are in this industry? Correct? Am I right about that?
I think so. Like, and I know one that's married. They just got married a year ago. I was talking to them the other day. They hit me up. We might be actually having them on the pod too.
We're going to be pulling. I'm doing a panel of women. I'm trying to put together like as many women as I can on one panel, and we're going to be discussing frequency of sex, especially in marriages. And I think one of the girls I was going to come on, she actually worked in the adult industry, and from what I understand, she's married now, so that we could ask her those questions then. So that'll be on the 25th if you guys tune in.
Yeah. How many people were having on that panel too?
Well, right now we don't. Yeah, I'm hoping we can get a few more. Women are hard to get on shows, guys. Like I have a lot of good, friends that are wives, and they would be a great input, but they don't like to be on social media. They don't want to be online, so I can't get them on. It's just hard. It's hard to pull them out. Yeah, you can get tons of OnlyFans girls, but when it comes to wives and like women that like things low key and I guess what people would call the boring life, I can't get them on.
Yeah, I mean, well, because like the good wives, they're too busy doing good wife shit to have to be on social media.
I honestly don't know how a lot of these girls do it, because even for me to do these shows, it takes so much time, like from doing what I normally would be doing. Like right now, like I got to go cook.
She's about to get her ass in the kitchen.
Yeah, it takes so much time to do these shows. I just don't know how people do it all the time, like every day.
Yep. And we got Taticus asking, what do you ask here, Taticus? Where can you find the legislation bill for? Oh, you mean this bill right here? Yes. Hit me up. Either email me or message me on Twitter or something, and then I will send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to the nitty gritty here. Does body count matter? Yes. But not the way that you may think it does.
It's not the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be online obsessed about it. Going on every girl that you find attractive, going, oh, she must be a hoe. She must have 50 body count. That's not doing you any good. Okay. It's not doing you any good.
Just do this. Just assume that every woman you meet has a sexual past. There you go. There's no more Mother Teresa's. All right. There's no less than 3% of women are virgins on their wedding day. Right. So just assume that the woman that you're meeting, that you find interested, that you find attractive, that you want to get to know, she's probably been banged out by somebody before, and it wasn't you. Okay. So get over that part. How does she treat you? Focus on the other factors that do matter, things that you can objectively observe,
things you can control.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with hypergamy. Going online, going under every single clavicular post, going, look how women act, guys. That's women's female nature, guys. They can't trust them. They're not loyal. Like, what is that doing for you guys? Really? I mean, like it's like being obsessed with women. It's still putting you say that you don't put women on pedestals, but you're still putting women on pedestals. You're still making women the focus. It's not helping you. Let's solve the things that are within your control.
And
go to the gym.
You're gonna allow in your life.
Get your body right. Get your mind right. Get your finances right. Get the things that are actually going to make an impact. I could log off tomorrow and never log back on, and my life would stay exactly the same way it is now. Online does not matter. It just doesn't.
And I agree with Caucasian Sasquatch here. Now, I was his Valentine last year, but now I'm no longer his Valentine for some reason. But he says, I'll take an honest hooker over a lying virgin. Facts.
Yeah.
That's 100% fact.
Honestly, I've never met a guy that said anything other than that. We would all rather have somebody up front. I have met a lot of people in all different demographics, right? Criminals, hookers, prostitutes, pastors, virgins, all types of people, right? And I always enjoy talking to somebody who straight out tells you exactly what's up right in the beginning. They're not trying to act like Miss Goody Two-Shoe. They're not trying to like put on a front, a poser, none of that. They just say, this is what I like. And I respect that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, like I I will tell you what the red flags are. But I'll tell you right now, I tend to run through red flags like a communist parade. Okay, I will hit every single one of them. You know.
It's
And I
funny.
have.
Didn't you say like your most people's red flags are your green flags or something like that?
Exactly. Yes.
Like
Your
what?
red flags are probably my green flags. So like girls with tattoos, septum piercings, I've dated them all before. I've even like I would even encourage them to get the nose piercing. Like I've gotten with girls that had no tattoos, but because I'm tatted from the neck down, they end up getting tattoos.
So you corrupt them.
Absolutely. Like, okay, like
Now
I
you
make
know
them
why body
unmarriageable.
count matters. You just prove why body count matters.
I
So
am
that's
the reason
when
why
a
they're
woman gets with a man,
unmarriageable.
she needs to stay with that man.
Yes. Don't again, perfect example. If a woman has been with a guy that goes by the name Caucasian Sasquatch, she's been damaged, okay? If she's been with the guy,
There's a
again,
lot.
Glenn Lord,
Yeah.
she's been damaged.
There's some damaged people online, big time, man.
Coach Justin said like a nose ring is only good for with a leash.
Oh, damn. That would hurt. That would hurt. Could you imagine
you
being
know what?
pulled around?
I like what Taticus says here, right here, and this is really interesting. He says, "Give me a loyal, exclusive webcam model over a LARPing tradcon pick me baddie." Facts. That's true. I can go with that. So it doesn't, as you can see, there's nuance here, people, and a lot of these sound bites and stuff that you hear does not get into the nuance. They make everything absolute. So if they're saying, yeah, you want a virgin, cool. So you get a bunch of guys getting with virgins, but then they find out they're just getting just as divorced as the ones that weren't virgins. Why? Because the other factors, the other qualities, since they prioritized this one and they didn't actually care about vetting for these other qualities, it didn't work out. You need to have the right balance, right? You know, there's a lot of factors that do matter. Like, again, this is what the Dr. David Buss says. When it comes to, you know, mate selection, and this is what a lot of the talking points in this space tends to not actually acknowledge. It'll say like, so a major problem with a lot of the framing here is that it ignores that people often pair with others who have similar to or who are similar to themselves. Research on assortative mating shows that people commonly match on education, attractiveness, intelligence, values, and overall mate value. So they're not just looking about body count. They're not just looking about this. There's other things that contribute to whether or not somebody is a good, you know, mate, right? They also ignore like loyalty matters, trust, you know, lifestyle, a person's you know, religious beliefs. How the person treats you, a person's character matters.
Huge,
right?
huge.
So, I mean, who cares if you got a virgin, but that has a shitty ass character?
Oh, she becomes real ugly real fast.
And she ended up taking you for earthing. You're gonna have nothing. You're not gonna have enough money to go get you a hooker. What times is done with you? Like, oh yeah, kindness, dependability. Those are the other qualities that it says here. And these are high value items that people like, you know, factor in. So if these are other high value items like kindness, dependability, understanding, and long-term mates, if you're only focusing about her body count and you're ignoring all these other factors, that's detrimental. You're setting yourself up for failure. So, yeah. What else we got?
I'm
Any more comments? Let's see. Any more comments? What's up, Grid? I see you. Give me a muffin baking mini can driving soccer mom with D cups. Oh, minivan. Okay.
What type of muffins you like?
He likes blueberry. I think he's a blueberry muffin guy. I'm guessing. Mr. Justin, you gotta tell me, are you blueberry?
Apple crumble.
Those are bomb.com. You know, I want Dissident to come up and talk about his legalization of prostitution. I think that would be very interesting to hear.
I just
because
sent.
it does kind of come up to the whole body count topic.
I just sent the link again because he never got it. Justin
Okay.
never got it.
Oh, did you get it to Justin?
Yeah, I just sent it.
All right. Let me actually message that dissident guy because let's see. I'll message him directly. I mean, because it kind of it. Oh, I can't message him. Damn you! Why can't I message you, you asshole? Message me.
Yeah, I think a sorting. I did a whole tweet on that.
A sort of mating.
I have to pull it up. See if I can send it to you so you can pull it up.
So this is like last night I was on a panel and I was talking about the problems I see in the red pill space, right? And if for some reason that concluded that, oh, Glenn must hate the red pill. Glenn is anti-red. Nobody's saying, why can't people why can't you criticize something or critique something and say, hey, this is wrong or this should be fixed without people assuming that you're attacking it?
I had that happen all the time, right? So like as soon as I bring up
Justin's like, that panel was insane.
Yeah,
I wanted to jump off the bridge.
because it's the same reason why people do ad hominem attacks, right? Like if they can't discuss the topic in a logical way, then they're immediately going to go to ad hominem. Like it's discredit you through your character because they can't discredit you through the argument. And that's why they do it. So I get that a lot. Like if I talk about why marriage is important, I get called, what is that? What is a fem something?
You're a femcon.
Yeah. So like they'll call me things like, where are they coming up with this? I'm not conservative. I don't know where they're coming up with this.
And I was right. It was blueberry.
Oh, blueberry crumb. I like to do the crumbs. Anyway, so yeah, people just do
I like
they
crumbs.
immediately move to like labeling because then they can discredit you through your character. So then people don't listen to you. It's just because it's called to me, it's intellectually lazy. Like if you actually want to have a discussion, let's talk about the argument, the topic. Don't go to attacking my character or something that I've done that's irrelevant to the discussion.
Yeah, they're like somebody else like, are you married? I was like, that's irrelevant to the conversation. We're not talking about me. We're talking about what the data says. Like, I don't care how you feel about it. This is what the data says, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so what I was trying to get at in that debate was like, there's things that. So I think that there's if you do not disseminate the information in its entirety, right, and you're withholding information because you want it to sound a certain way or you're trying to make it fit your narrative, you are a dishonest person and you're
That's
misleading.
a lie. It's a lie. A half lie is still a lie. So it's like, okay, for instance, if we are going to say, for instance, what was that last thing that we just talked about? Oh, here it is. If we're going to say that every woman who has a man's sperm in her, that sperm stays in her, right? Like there's that's a lie. That's an actual lie. Like you have to actually say the whole truth. The whole truth is that she has to be pregnant in order for that to happen, right? The DNA, she has to actually have a baby to have that DNA. So like, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these sound bites that are online are like said to get everybody angry. And that's why it gets the reaction. And that's why it farms engagement and it gives them their money, their checks. Okay. Because we all know ad revenue is big on Twitter. So the more angry you can get people, the more sound bites you can throw at it, the bigger your check. But what that's doing when you do half truths is you're lying, and lies, they're destructive long-term. So if we are constantly saying women bad, women are whores, women are this, women are hypergamous, if we're always putting down and degrading women, you don't have to say, I hate women. All you're doing is constantly degrading women. Eventually men are going to hate women. And the same thing goes for the women. If all you're doing is saying men are good for nothing, I can do things better than a man, like we're degrading men. Like it's destructive. You can't take sides. Taking sides validates hate, guys.
And here, Coach Justin coming in with some more knowledge for you guys. There are enzymes in women's bodies that are designed to kill the vast majority of sperm.
The DNA stores in the baby's blood. So like when it's the blood from the baby that the mother, that's how it's stored.
Yeah. Like, okay. Like we'll bring up the hypergamy thing because we'll just talk about it briefly. This is what I hate about hypergamy, the conversation on it. You know, certain people will build an argument around it, and they'll take ideas from, you know, evolutionary psychology, and they'll take some of the truth, but not the whole thing that the thing says, right? Like some people in this space will say hypergamy never seeks its level, right? And that only women are hypergamous, and you know, they're always looking for a man that's better than equal, right? But that's not what the research says.
So
You know?
that's why I did this tweet. So I said women are naturally selective when choosing a man. That's a biological feature and it's actually good, okay? Where it gets distorted is when men and women reject mating assortment, meaning they are delusional about who they think they can deserve, right? So we see this a lot because women have a tendency and men have a tendency to see what they see online, what they think they deserve, or they compare themselves to other. We're in a constant comparison and competition market. That's what the sexual market of value is. And I did a whole video on this if you guys want to go check out. It's called Social Hierarchies. Then I go in to say some men argue that women have too many options, which is why they ignore 80% of the average man. Again, this is another narrative. This narrative comes from the old Cupid study that gets distorted online. It's not, you know, it's not an 80-20, you guys. That's distorted. By the way the data is shared online, it's misleading and leaves the nuance out. The popular claim is that women rated 80% of men as below average, and people use that to argue that all women want better than them. That's not actually factual. The study actually found something more nuanced. While women rated many men lower on the look scale, guess what? They still messaged them. They still talked to them, okay? They still gave those men a chance. The looks is only a factor a woman considers when choosing a mate. It's not just the only factor, right? So she's also looking, looks is there, but it's not in the top, okay? It's definitely not.
Especially not for women.
Not for
men,
women,
it is.
okay? Right,
For
correct.
men, it definitely is. It's like, if you're not hot, it's not happening.
We have to also remember that now that women are making their own money, right? Now they can be a little bit more, the bottom list now is kind of moving to the top. So now they're looking like that's where you get they want the taller guy, or they want the guy that's buff, you know, or in the gym, right? That's where that stuff is coming from. So at the same time, men tended to message the most. Oh yeah. So we also talk about how the men responded on dating apps. They were also trying to optimize their option and talk to the most attractive ones on the dating app.
1/3 of the hottest women on the app. Yep.
Correct. So it shows that both women and men respond to attractiveness. Like we underestimate how much people move off of attractiveness. And I don't think that men understand this simple fact. You can make yourself very, very attractive with just a few little tweaks. Like hygiene, like just if you just get better hygiene, you can make yourself 10
just
times
wash your balls, you guys. Just wash your fucking balls.
Like your teeth, you know, like just that alone, you know, a wider smile, like just those things alone can make you more attractive. There are so many ways to improve on that. Then I went into men tend to think in simple, direct terms, which is true. They like to get things, you know, let's fix this, let's get it done. But unfortunately, what that does is it makes them oversimplify data and oversimplify things. So then they miss the nuance. That's where all these absolutes and these generalizations are coming from, right? Do men care about appearance? Yes. Do women care about? Of course. Do men try to pursue the most attractive? You scrolled up too fast. Do men try to pursue the most attractive women they can? Yes. Men can want things like bigger boobs. We know that, right? They can
titties,
bigger boobs, bigger butt, prettier girl, younger girl, better hair. Like we know men also as well optimize their choices. The difference is that men tend to be more physical in how they optimize versus women tend to go for more of the financial, which is because
well, it's not just financial, but and because that's what they get the whole gold digger thing, right? All women are gold diggers. No, like women, when they look for it, it's competent. Want you to be educated, more highly educated, socially more like, you know, successful. There's a lot more nuance in it. It's like it says it's shaped by many different individual variations, right? For both men and women in mating by context, life conditions, and individual variations. Researchers note that both sexes and both sex differences and sex similarities, there's not just one rigid female program running the same way in every case, right? And they downplay, like, you know, the difference in attractiveness and intelligence levels, and all that plays a role. Again, if hypergamy is women want to date up, right? Or because really what it says, women will prefer to be at their level or up. Right? That's what hypergamy means, right? But that doesn't mean that, you know, if she's rich and that means she's looking for money. No, because if she already has money, she may be looking for other areas.
It also doesn't factor in the fact that men are better at many things over women automatically. Like men already are better at many things than women, just like women are as they're good at things that men are not, right? And that's why your strengths meet your weaknesses and you do well together when you're working together.
Well, technically, I now I think there's a question for that. I think they may need to do a study for that, Gia, because this is why. I think that when it comes to or women have things that do better than men, I would agree with you until these International Women's Day awards. Why are trannies getting these awards? They're not women. Are these fake women better than the real women?
They're not women.
But are they? They're getting the awards that these women should be getting.
I mean, that just proves it right there that men are better at women. I mean, better than women.
Men are better at women being women.
Men are better doing things than women are on many things. They're more competent in other areas.
Mr. Justin's coming up.
Okay, cool.
We'll go a couple more minutes and then
let's go back to that tweet because I want to finish it. I just want to get down to the end. I know it was a long tweet, but
and you tell me stop writing novels.
Yeah, for real. I just need to put this in a book. Okay, so scroll down. Let's scroll down to the end. Okay.
Good Lord.
Nope. Go back up. Keep going up. Where did you go?
I'm right here. But in 2026, we know women are making their own money.
Men, however, okay, so scroll down. Sorry, I should be. Okay, so here, women look for ability to provide, ability to protect. Men look for attraction, enthusiastic sex, virtue, fertility, youth, nurturing, submission. Oh, this is what I want to talk about. So online, you'll hear a lot of sound bites like men are simple. All they want is a woman who is for them, can cook, and is beautiful. That's it, attractive to him, okay? But that's not really honest either, right? That's not really being honest. Yes, men are simple when they are just looking to smash, okay? They don't have a lot of things, you know, they're not going to have a long list. Hey, is she attractive? Is she beautiful? She's nice. She treats me good. Okay, good, right? But when a man actually wants to see her again and again and again and maybe have a relationship with her, that's when he becomes very complicated. That's when he's going to require a lot of things from that woman. So anybody who says that men are simple and women are complicated, I'm going to argue with you because I'm going to tell you that's not really true. Men can be complicated in their own ways, just like women can be complicated in their own ways.
Yep. You want me to go down?
Yeah, let's just end it up. So basically,
let's stop comparing.
Yeah. So let's stop comparing hypergamy to celebrity women. That's another thing. You'll see a lot of people use celebrity outliners, like these women who found what's the model?
The guy that was a prisoner, the guy that was locked up, and then
no, what's the other one? What's Tom Brady? They'll use Tom Brady. Like, oh, if she wasn't happy with Tom Brady, then geez, women will never be happy, right? Because he's the best of the best, right? But we're using outliners. We're using a woman who she was already a millionaire. Okay.
She already had her needed.
Yeah. She was already set at a certain, status level and all of that. So like, we're forgetting that if anything, that story was actually a positive thing. If you could see it, if you could actually learn from it, what it showed is that you could put your entire world into making money. And guess what? That doesn't keep a woman around. She wants to know that you're there for her, that you actually care, that you're not always work oriented. She wants to know that you're involved, invested in just in her, not always in making money. And I think a lot of guys that make money, they have that misconception. They think, well, let's put that as a priority. And then they end up, everything else falls to the wayside, right?
Yeah.
So if anything, it was a lesson that we have to stop using celebrities as our standard, or using the worst examples that are going viral online that are very heavily misconstrued and scripted. Okay. Like even the curricular videos that we're seeing, those are scripted, guys. And you're all following for it. You're all like sitting there and acting like this is the way women act, So yeah, so basically it's time for everyone to take responsibility. Long, short, we cannot keep pointing fingers and blaming. We have to learn from each other and then work together.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest problem on like both sides of the conversation is that neither party wants to take accountability.
Mm-hmm.
They want to blame everybody else for their problem and for the way things are. Like last night, I'm literally in this debate and I'm hearing guys. I asked a simple question, and I'll ask the chat this too. Actually, this is this. I mean, I'll ask Gia too. Gia, who do you think is more responsible for the sexual revolution, women or men?
More responsible? I think they both contributed to it. They have both contributed. They both okay. So if you pull up the studies, like we could actually look on data.
I already have
I don't want to go by my opinion.
I already have it. I already have them up. So that's
the
why
data will show that it was 95% of men who wanted sex before commitment or sex before marriage, and only 85% of women actually wanted sex before marriage. So that's pretty close.
So let me tell you about the sexual revolution.
What's up, Justin?
Good evening, folks. How are you?
Good to have you.
Doing well. So check this out. When it came to the sexual revolution, right, or the sexual liberation, women contributed more to the structure of it, but men contributed more to like the commercialization and making it culturally acceptable. Like that's what men pushed. Men pushed it to become more socially the norm, but the women contributed to the structure of it being, because you can't have a sexual revolution if you don't got women involved in wanting some of the sexual revolution, right? So
well, I gave an analogy the other day to somebody. I said, okay, let's say your girl comes to you and she says, you know, what do you think about this? Like, and she shows you this hot picture of like this girl with these big, huge boobs, right? And like the guy's like, yeah, that looks great. She's like, would you like if my boobs look like that? And he's like, yeah, that would be awesome, right? So she's like, okay, well, I want to go do a surgery and get my boobs done, right? And he's like,
wait a minute, no.
Well, no, he's like, cool, yeah, I would love that. Let's do it, right? She goes and does it, and then all of a sudden, here comes the consequences, right? She finds
back pain. She got back pain because the titties are like this.
She gets a complication from surgery, and now he's got to take off from work and sit home with her. Now there's loss of money when they're already out, right? Now it's going to affect them a year into the relationship. Now they got to cut back on groceries. Now they got to cut back on things that would normally be that they can go hang out together.
The titties eat the groceries? That's what they got to cut back.
They have to make up for all of the loss of expenses. So this is what happened with sexual liberation. In the beginning, it was like, wouldn't this be cool if I did this? Yeah, that'd be cool. Nobody thought about the long-term effects of where we would be 20, 30, 40 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's why
this is what the data says right here.
Responsibility for it.
It says like the strongest case for women's impact is that the pill gave women the reliability control over fertility and helped separate sex from pregnancy in a historical new way. And that right there, that shifted, that structural shift, it mattered like tremendously. But it also says that, you know, when it comes to men did more to turn it from like the structural shift into this mass market and sexual economy, like Playboy, Hugh Hefner, all that. They helped, you know, commercialize it and get it out there. They're saying Playboy is contributed greatly to the sexual revolution and was a major influence on it through the philosophy of hedonism and the media empire built around sexual display. So I mean, who played a role in it? Well, they both played a role in it.
Who pushed tech? Who pushed AI?
Yeah. Well, it was us that decided to make money off of it. Like, how can we make this grow? How can we scale? You know, like women are thinking, like, how do we scale my pussy? No, men are thinking,
men are thinking, like, look at, we can scale this pussy.
And this goes all the way back because think about it. How many male pimps have you ever heard of? I'm sorry, female pimps have you ever heard of?
Exactly. It's always the prostitute and the pimp. Always
the guy is like, no, how do I scale this? Right? I got one bitch. How can I get 3 bitches? How can I get 7 bitches?
I can make like $60,000 a night.
Exactly. You look at the CEOs of all these like porn production companies, the owner of you know, I don't even know the websites anymore, but the websites with all the porn on them, they're all probably owned by men. You know,
Oh, yeah.
OnlyFans is probably owned by a man.
Yeah,
it is.
it is.
And it's kind of funny because there's like they're men, but they're men of a very specific.
Who invented the breast
heritage.
implants? Who invented the breast implants? Who invented all the
Probably a
sexy,
guy.
every sexy outfit, anything?
Who
that has
invented
anything-
lingerie? Men.
Men. Who invented the heels? Who invented the bras? Men.
We like titties. We want to make sure they were
It
well
was
secured.
all a way to like. It was a way to like kind of find a way to monetize female sexuality.
Yeah, but they keep making them better because nowadays, like if anyone ever heard of Motivas, the brand Motiva? It's an implant brand, and it's the most latest
those the ones
technology.
with the gummy bears? Like the little
No,
gummy bears?
no, that's old. That's old news.
That's old titties.
Yep, that's old news. The new stuff, it's this brand called Motiva, and they look, move, and feel almost exactly like a real breast. The only
What
people
is
who
it
can tell the
called?
difference, Motiva, Motiva.
Motiva.
Yeah,
I'll pull it up.
and only like the plastic surgeons can really tell the difference. Like your average guy would not be able to tell.
Interesting.
Yeah, I looked into this because my girl wants to get larger breasts, so she, like, okay, I'll do the research for you.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up
Yeah.
Motiva.
Oh, they have all sorts of things coming out. Like I talked to a plastic surgeon, and he told me, he said, if it wasn't for us coming up with something new every month, we would not be millionaires. Like the only reason why we have the money and the cars and the house is because we come up with these things to tell women that it's newer and better. And it's really, it's the same shit. It's the same.
Yeah, I've got a client of mine. You know, granted, he comes from a very troubled, extremely troubled past, but it's turned him into this rocketed overachiever. And I think maybe I mentioned it on the show where he's setting up this spa in Turkey, where it's like a hotel spa plastic surgery place. And and he's already getting booked. Like the place isn't even built yet, and there's already a waiting list.
I'm looking at the before and afters, and Motiva is the way to go.
Yeah. But you can choose like the different poles, like have like a high projection, like upper pole or not. There's all these variables. Yeah, it's really interesting stuff.
You really couldn't tell the difference. Like I mean, other than the size, right? Like, but the look was so natural.
Yeah.
I mean, it had the teardrop thing, you know.
Yeah,
like they weren't like up, they weren't up underneath their chin, like because you know, like some like remember back in the day, the fake ones like underneath their chin, like the chin they would just rest.
Yeah, Pamela Anderson. Days. Yes, but you know, like it's interesting. But back then, it's like, you know, they could pull it off. It looked great, like for the time period. And I loved Pamela Anderson during that time, along with every other teenage boy.
You know, I always had a problem with her eyebrows or lack thereof.
Yeah, that was I had the small eyebrows back then. Like that was this trend. It was a style. That's what I'm saying.
What was
women
wrong
just
with
copy,
you guys? Like
no, because all women do is copy other women that are in that. Like if she seems popular and that's what everyone's photographing and putting on magazines, that's what women copy. That's what they do.
Yeah, to compete with other women.
Yeah.
They say that it's for themselves. They're like, I do this myself.
No.
I'm like, honey, okay, I'm going to put you and like 10 women on an island for 3 months, okay? You can take all your makeup with you, and we'll count how many of you are actually putting it on by the end of the 3rd month.
Yeah.
Like women's like, oh, I dress this way for me. No, you don't.
Or worse, they say that guys want me to do that. That's the one I can't stand, because I'm like, no. Guys did not tell you to go put filler in your lip. Guys did not go tell you to go do a BBL. You are copying other women who are getting attention on social media and being told that they are so good by the comments. And you're like, okay, well, if I do this, I might get more likes, more followers, you know, maybe more money, monetization, brands will see me, you know?
Well,
it's been BBLs. They just messaged me, goes, also hot take, BBLs are fucking gross.
They are gross.
They're so
strange.
They are
gross. Yeah,
they're so weird. Because if you know anything about proportion, I mean, you don't even have to know anything about proportions to tell that there's something off.
Here's the thing. I've seen
they have like
some really
skinny
good
legs and then this round butt where it feels
but that's
detached.
the thing. I've seen some really like good BBLs. I have seen some good BBLs, but the problem is why do that? Just go to the gym, just work out. I don't see the point of it. Like
And it's all fat, right?
You only need a little pop, which can be achieved by muscle. It's the grossness comes when they keep doing it again and again, and then their legs are not in proportion.
Right.
Like you
Yeah, and
want
they get
proportion.
these thin legs and then this big round ass. It's like that doesn't happen in nature. Like the thigh has to make this transition from the ass
Where's
to the
the
thigh.
tie-in? Where's the tie-in from the hammy to the ass cheek? Okay?
Exactly. Yeah, it's all bad. It's just bad decision making, which just means that there's not enough men leading. Because they if they really were leading, they'd be like, "Nah, honey, that's a bad idea."
Sometimes, but sometimes a man can say, "No, I don't want it," and she still goes and does it. Though I will say, I've seen that happen too. So
okay, this is the question and we'll get back into the topic in a minute. But the question I raised was about the whole sexual revolution, because all I hear is guys saying it's all women's fault.
No, or they say that it was a minority of men, not the majority.
Yeah, it was only top 20% of guys. Just because maybe the top 20% of guys were getting more action than you were, didn't mean that you didn't participate. So if this is the case, if you slept with a woman that you did not end up marrying, you contributed to the sexual revolution or hookup culture that we have. Period.
Well, if you're online using women's photos, like however you're using them, entertainment, however you're entertained by it, you are still contributing to the sexual liberation.
Yeah, like I mean, if you added a body count to a woman that you did not marry, you contributed to the hookup culture. So if you're bitching about the hookup culture, you are part of the problem. That's your dog, huh? Gia.
Oh, I have to bring one up. I should bring one of them. So you can
your little lap dogs.
Yeah, I'll leave them this time. Maybe I'll bring them one day. They're like 4 pounds.
Yeah, actually, last night I did a show on this, like on this topic. Yeah, it was called "Why Sexual Freedom Did Not Make Women Happier."
It actually made it worse. Sexual revolution and sexual hookup culture only benefited men. It didn't benefit women.
Well, I think at first, like there was probably like when you have a dam and you kind of release the wall, it kind of has that initial flow.
Talking about when she squirts?
I don't know. Just I think there was like an initial release.
Yeah, I agree. It's like the first time a woman gets attention, it's like, oh, this is fun, and then all of a sudden, like a year and 2 years, it's like, okay, enough now. Like this is enough. Same thing.
Yeah, but then there was a study. There was a landmark study in 2009 published in the American Economic Journal by economists Betsy Stevenson and Justin Wolfers, and they analyzed decades of happiness data from the General Social Survey and as well as some international sources. And they documented what they called the paradox of declining female happiness. And women's self-reported well-being fell both absolutely and relative to men's. So in the 1970s, women typically reported higher happiness than men. By 2000s, that gender gap had reversed or disappeared. So the decline cut across age groups, marital statuses, even in countries where everywhere the sexual revolution took hold. So more choices in every domain of life, including sex, seem to have made satisfaction harder to achieve, not easier.
Yeah.
And so again, men benefited from the sexual revolution more than women did.
But it deteriorated their relationships. Is what I did.
Right. So because like the freedom to say yes, it often leaves them wondering whether they have chosen well.
Which brings me to a good point. I don't think that this new we were talking about the fourth. What is it called again, Glenn? The
fourth turning theory.
The fourth turning.
Have you looked into that?
What's that?
So I will blame AJ for all this because he sent me on this wild goose chase. Yeah, I'm talking about you little gremlin. I started looking into it, and the fourth turning theory is like, so basically the idea of like the hypothesis is basically saying that America has these 4
seasons
that repeat themselves over and over again. Right?
So we keep repeating history, like you've heard that before. Oh, humans always
wait, Angry Casper, did you bring it up too?
Angry Casper repeats itself.
So that's what they're saying. We're in that phase right now where it's destruction. It's like the worst phase, which is the fourth phase,
Well,
and now we have
we're in
to
the crisis phase.
yeah, we have to rebuild again. But I don't think why I brought it up was I don't think that people understand that some of their new adoptions, like, oh, I'm not going to get married anymore, or I'm not going to ever start a relationship with a woman, or I'm going to stay single. Like, I don't think they understand that is going to actually punish them down the road. Like, it's going to hurt them 10 years from now. It's going to be good now, but in 10 years, it's going to hurt them worse. So a lot of people are adopting things that are actually going to be destructive for their future.
And you're saying this is mindsets adopted by women.
So it says, okay, so Strauss and Howe say that a crisis accumulates in the destruction and rebuilding of an institutional life. Evolutionary and I had this overlap between evolutionary psychology, religion, and all these different things that we're seeing like spike up, right? How does this like all kind of play a role? And so it's basically like where the overlap is. So according to like the fourth turning describing like the reoccurring of social crisis, when you add evolutionary psychology, it explains the underlying human instinct that flares up during these crises. And when you add like things like religion into it, religion explains how society historically contained those instincts and convert them into more of a solidarity, while technology adding into the factor explains how the modern version is now faster, louder, and more and destabilizing and harder to govern. So when you're going through these four turnings, right? Why it seems so chaotic now, that the crisis is so much worse now, because we have devalued religion societal wise, right? So it doesn't have that the way to like contain how people will react by having those social buffers. And when you add like the way that men and women are, their instincts, their human instincts, they're flaring up during the crisis, well, the technology only like exasperates it, only like magnifies it even more so.
Because their fears are magnified on social media. So it creates more of the bias, more of the narrative.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting when you see where the overlap of like knowing the cycle of the fourth turnings, whatever they talk about, and then you adding all these other elements to it. Why is it now seem a lot worse than it was in other crisis eras in America, right? And you factor the religion was a lot higher back then, and technology, we didn't have the advancement of technology that we do today. And when you remove those two factors, it would probably be something similar back then.
Maybe, or it just seems that way because we have the ability of technology to communicate, share things, and so on. Like where it's sort of like the thing where people say like, oh my gosh, there's so much autism today. It's like, well, no, we actually have just better means of detecting it and analyzing it. We might have had the same amount before. We can just detect it better and we can talk about it more. People like red pill topics, right? Same sort of thing, like women being like this, women being like that. It's like, well, no, things really haven't changed much. Just guys can talk about it more, right? There's always been like probably the same number of simps in the world, right? There hasn't been like this explosion of simps, right? There's been like a large group of men who are non-select, and there's always been a small group of select. And it's just the way the world has always been. But these guys can get online, we can share stories, talk about it, debate, all that bullshit. And it seems like it's more prevalent. I'm not saying that's the case, but it's certainly a possibility.
And then you have to factor in 60% of that is bots and farming, troll farming.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. It's so funny when people fall for that stuff, isn't it? Like they think that it's like an actual girl making this comment on social media. It's like, dude, you don't realize this is like some dude, some Indian guy in a room full of Indian guys sitting there like tapping away on a computer.
With 10 phones.
Exactly.
He's sitting there and just typing whatever. Yeah.
Some Indian guy that smells because he doesn't wash his armpits.
Right. Well, yeah, of course they do, just with cow piss.
Yeah, so so here's what it says. The crisis culture makes the opposite sex easier to demonize. In the fourth turning type of environment, everything becomes moralized and politicized. So men start hearing that women are manipulative, entitled, and disloyal. Women start hearing that men are dangerous, selfish, and oppressive. And some of those criticisms point to real behaviors, but once it becomes totalizing and trust collapsing, the intersexual relationships stop being about how love and family and start becoming proxy war zones for ideology. Like the masculine and feminine both get distorted. In breakdown periods, it'll break down like this: masculine strength can turn into domination, bitterness, emotional shutdown, and raw control. And then female sensitivity can turn into manipulation, fear-based testing, validation addiction, and chronic dissatisfaction. And healthy polarity gets replaced with characters. And the result is going to be, well, more short-term mating, less stable bonding. The overlap of crisis, tribalism, and tech and moral decline tend to produce more suspicion between the sexes, later marriage or no marriage, more sexual confusion, more performative relationships, more infidelity temptations, more fear of commitment, less trust, less fertility, more loneliness.
Okay, so then the boomers are right when they say
the boomers did it all. They were the
enjoy. They
ones.
say enjoy the decline, right? The boomers go enjoy the decline. Isn't that their saying?
I think so, man.
I mean, did it?
So really, like the problem is that guys, well, actually, I think men and women, but I really don't think about girls all that much. But so guys, they'll think like, well, the solution, or at least like how I deal with this, right? Which is really just coping.
And then like, I'm going to check out.
Just talk about it. No, they talk about it online. Like, I mean, this right now is an example of it. Okay, granted, we're not sitting here being critical. We're talking about, and that's, I guess,
we're talking about
somewhat
the talking
okay.
about.
Yes, but there's tons of mileage online spent on just discussing and arguing about this stuff. And really the solution as men, because there's a colleague of mine who says it begins and ends with the man. Like everything begins and ends with the men. Like men started all the porn companies. Men are the ones who start wars. Men who also start farms, right? Men are the ones who create like artistic revolutions, like the Renaissance. Like, we start and end everything. Like that's just the way it goes. So if you don't like it, really the solution is to shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Stop looking at everything that's online, because it's not your business. Like your business is like right here. Like this is your business and the immediate aspects in your life. And getting a handle on that to the point where you're influencing the people in your immediate sphere, right? Where people are thankful to know you. That's where change actually happens. It's not going to happen by the way of a keyboard. It will not. And I know it's an addiction. I think that guys are, well, both men and women, but guys are really addicted to the chemical reactions that happen when they engage with people online. There's an emotional spike. There's psychological shifts. I'm sure there's all sorts of like floods of adrenaline and all sorts of things. And that can be, you do this again and again and again. And what happens is you start retraining your nervous system. And then it starts expecting these things, sort of like that dog experiment, with the bell and the treat, the drooling, like, just like classical conditioning. So basically guys are classically conditioning themselves and rewriting their nervous system to respond like predictably. Mm-hmm. And it's terrible, because what happens is when you're like that, it means that you're easily controlled, right? Because if your behavior becomes predictable, then it can be analyzed and then manipulated.
So
and you're like a slave, basically.
I had this comment today, which I thought was a little funny. So this guy comes in, he's like, I was talking about what you can keep within your control, like do what's within your control. And he came in and said, well, we can't, because women are the gatekeepers of sex. And so I said, okay, so first it was women are gatekeepers of sex. Now it's women are gatekeepers of relationships. So basically what you're telling me is that everything is out of your control and women control it all. Like, are we perpetual victims of everything right now? Like at what point do we take control of our own actions?
That's what men have. That's what a lot of the male space has become, unfortunately, is like, we have no control. It's all women's fault. We don't have power as the women.
Mm-hmm. But actually they're admitting a very real truth though, right? So like the heroin dealer, they're basically saying the heroin dealer has all the power. And it's like, well, really, it's the fact that you are addicted to heroin. and they just so happen to have the thing that you truly desire, that you're addicted to. So in that, because of that relationship, now it not because they took that position, like the dealer's like, I have control over you now, you will be subordinate to me. Nothing like that
You
was set
give
up.
them that power.
They're just doing their thing, standing on the corner, dealing packs of heroin. And by way of your relationship to that drug, now they've been placed in a position of authority and rule over you.
You have given them that position
exactly
of authority.
by way of your addiction. So they didn't take the position, you placed them in that position. And the same thing has happened to guys with their lust and their neediness, and then all the psychological shit that's connected to that stuff. So what they did is they inadvertently placed women on the throne and then complains that they're on the throne.
Yeah.
And women are sitting there going, but I didn't want to be up here. I didn't climb on this throne. I didn't say I want you to worship me. Maybe some girls, right? But generally speaking, the feminine archetype psyche overall is not saying I want to rule over, right? Because it doesn't feel good.
And then
Like,
the worst part is like, now that they got used to being up there, it's like, oh, I'm not even sure that you're capable of taking over. So they don't even want to like relinquish what they've been doing, right? It's like,
of course. Yeah, when they're saying you're crawling on the ground, wagging their finger at them, and from looking up at the throne, saying you're not fit to lead. Men are the leaders, and then like looking down at the male archetypes, and
you're like, why am I up here? And you're down there.
Crawling on the floor, like with your chin dragging on dirty cement, telling me that you should be leading. Like, are you joking?
and then that's why I said I think that this is a sickness. It's a sickness that I'm noticing, because I've been online for now 15 years and I've watched the decay. And I'm like, at this point, it's the worst I've ever seen it. Like the amount of victim blaming and all that. I'm like, this is a sickness and it's only going to get worse. It's like, it's to the point now where I realize that these people that are doing this whole point and blame, it's women's fault. It's men's. It's both are the same. There's two of the same people. Like they're people who can't.
People that want to avoid. They want to avoid accountability.
They don't want reality. No, they never wanted reality. They always wanted the lie. And so now more information is not helpful for them anymore. More information is actually making them more feared, more recluse, more isolated, because it's like, oh, we didn't know this. And what more do we know? And now they don't want to act at all because they never wanted to actually practice reality. They wanted to live the lie.
So let's try to make this. Let's see if this works. Guys, do not sleep with women. They all have teeth in their vaginas and they'll bite your vaginas off or your dicks off.
I actually had a dream like that once. It was fucking crazy. And there were human teeth.
That's
not many years ago. Yeah. But
her vagina will bite your dick off.
What's interesting though, Gia, is the phrasing, like how you mentioned the phrasing. And you didn't make it up. It's what's said out there. It's women's fault, it's men's fault. Okay. And by way of the structuring of that phrase, it insinuates that I'm not part of that. Okay. Like I'm standing on the sidelines and saying, oh, it's the Eagles' fault, it's the Bills' fault, right? That's like as though you're not there. There's no sideline. You know what I'm saying? The most honest thing to say is this is my fault.
At this point, okay. It's not your fault, it's your responsibility. You may not have done the thing, but it's on your watch. You have the responsibility to act. So what are you going to do about it?
Listen, if you've left a comment, if you're consuming and you've left comments, if you're talking to people about this shit, but like not in a like, hey, what, like seriously, what can we do about this? Let's have a rational discussion. But I'm saying the other shit, like the ocean of it, you are responsible, right? It's your fault, right? You have
like the guy that
your hands are not clean. All right. And it's because of not taking responsibility for one's thoughts, words, and actions. And if you don't do that, then you're fucked as a man.
You should have seen this comment the other day on X. Gia made a post. What was the post? It was something like, men have to realize that they're part of the problem or something like that. And they're lying or something about that. And then the guy's like, all right, twat waffle or something like that.
Yeah. So I typically, most of my tweets are about women. Like most of them are directed toward women, right? But of the past few weeks, I've been showing how men also contribute to the issue. Well, since I've been doing that, I have been getting just loads of hate. I mean, way worse than women have ever treated me. I've been treated by men. Like this is like, I'm like, my eyes are open because I'm like, wow, it's okay when I talk about women. You all love me and praise me when I'm talking about women. But as soon as I show how men also contribute, now I'm a twat, I'm a cunt, I'm a whore. I'm a every name in the book they have called
Those
me.
are three of
I'm
my
a
favorite words.
FenCon. Like they've called me. They've gone and harassed me. It's unreal. It's like really?
And so I was like, wow, you're really emotional there, bro. You know, like
huge emotion, like
he got
emotion off
so
the
mad.
chain. Yeah, they're just cursing and spamming my comments. Like not one comment, like 4, 5, 6 comments. Like whoa.
Yeah. It is like, and you're not sounding very stoic or rational here, buddy. Like, how about you think about this? Like, do you not see how bad you're behaving? Like, your behavior is telegraphing exactly what you are right now. You
yeah,
are
absolutely. Like a friend of mine, he says that
irrational.
your words expose you. And you know, if you listen to men talk, it really reveals where they're actually at. You know, like myself and the men that I proudly call men, they don't really talk about women. They don't really criticize them. They don't analyze them because there's no need to.
And
The girls
they're not in your control.
right? Their girlfriends and wives, like half of them are married. The rest have like long-term girlfriends. It's a smooth ride. Like there's nothing, like their reality is so starkly different than anything else that's in the world, right? And like this is what I surround myself with, because it's men who are operating with honesty, and they can't relate. Like I can't relate to this shit. I have no idea what it's like to be pissed off at women as a whole. Like that's crazy, but it's a real thing. And honestly, I think it's just displaced mom issues. Like when we really get down to it,
I know way too much to
That kind of that comment that you said that on our last podcast about why you feel it's mommy issues. And it's funny because it rang so true when we watched the documentary. Remember we watched the documentary, Glenn?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the new red pill Netflix thing.
That because you hit it on the head. Like all of them have issues with their fathers.
Yeah.
And their
Yeah,
mothers.
absolutely.
So.
Yeah, because you can't like, and the problem is that there's just not actually a lot of men. I don't use that word lightly. I use males.
There's a lot of males.
I use males to describe most dudes, and then men, I think, is a moniker that's developed and earned, right?
It's like going through the rite of passage.
Right, and I wrote this article on my Substack, and the funny thing is that guys, when you think of like king, like I'm a king, this, you know, they think of this like Mount Olympus, high up on a throne, the clouds with golden rays of sunshine. That's not actually where a man's throne is. A man's throne is actually carved subterraneanly, from a subterranean level. He carves it, he digs. He has to become like an archaeologist, and he digs down into the darkness of himself, and that's where he forms his throne. And that's where he becomes immovable. I'll like later on, I'll send you a link to that article, Gia.
Right. Let me tell you something. So this guy in the chat, right, this comment that we're talking about, he says, "I'm not insecure. I'm not emotional. I am so alpha. Like I know I'm alpha. I know I'm high value. I'm alpha." And I'm like, bro, announcing that you're alpha is not the flex you think it is.
No,
you just told me how much of an alpha you're not. Okay, kings don't walk into a room and announce that they're the king. You just know they're the king.
I realized something today, and I said it to Glenn. I said, these people are master projectors. Like, just nothing is ever their problem. It's all they everything you point, it's but women. That's their first reaction.
You know what they sound like? They sound like women.
It's very feminine behavior.
Whenever you say but someone else, when you're talking about something that, you know, this group of people are doing, but women, that's women. That's just really feminine.
Sure.
Because
if you were one of these weaklings who gets into it with a back and forth with a woman, you'll find that the girl will deflect because they don't really like to meet things head on. Okay. And this is what you see of guys today. You know, they're deflecting, they're dodging, they're smoke screening. They're all doing these things instead of standing straight up and not only facing the bullets, but running towards them. Okay. Like that's a sign of a developed man's mind, is that he doesn't run from the fear of learning something about himself that's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
He runs straight towards that stuff and impales himself on that spear of truth. That's what men are made of, okay? Because we realize we don't have all the fucking time to waste, okay? We don't have time to waste sitting around and complaining about bullshit. It's like we want to get to the fucking truth of the matter. And like, I'm sorry, but like red pill isn't it, right? Because really the truth is, as one of my other colleagues says, it says the truth is inside you. You just have to be courageous enough to fucking look at it. And the thing is that when you start doing that, you're not going to like what you see. But that's the beginnings. That's the very beginnings of actually being able to be a man and stand with both feet planted on this earth.
Yep. I mean, and it's funny because I was like, I made this tweet earlier today. I was like, men love to complain, or men these days love to complain, but most men won't do a damn thing to fix the thing that they're complaining about.
No.
That tells me like it's not really that important to them. Crying about politics or the broken homes or bad relationships or the state that the world in means nothing if you refuse to act.
The quiet part out loud is they just don't want change.
Yeah, they don't want the change. They want to be able to, they want to complain, or they use it as a justification why they are not choosing to do better.
Which is why they'll say stuff like, we just need to be Amish, or we need the Muslim to take over. Like, if you have to resort to force for change, that means that you're not really in charge of yourself. Like, you don't.
Right. I would just say more generically, if you need something outside of yourself to govern things, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what they're doing. Is basically saying like, I like the way I saw the world as having this structure, whether it was very imperial, where say like a religion, like Islam is telling everybody what to do, and if you don't fucking do it, you'll be severely punished, or more of like a quiet social agreement, the way it was say in the 1930s, 40s, 50s of the United States, right? There was that structure. It's like, okay, you do this and you do this, and everybody plays along, and if you do it well, everybody will be fine. And so for the longest time, guys just relied on that. Like, you didn't have to be anything of real substance. Okay. You just, if you played the game, then everything was okay. And now, because, those guardrails have been basically shattered, it really comes down to the quality of who you are as a man. And, I do think that they want change. I really do. But I don't think they want to face what it requires in order for that to do so.
They don't want it bad enough.
Right. Yeah.
So then
that's unfortunate. About it? Yeah. Well, because that's how guys are. Okay. I mean, think like
kind of how women are.
We'll get. Well, I don't pay much attention to girls. So guys, they will wait until that tooth has turned into a brown abscess, and then they're like, maybe I should go to the dentist. They wait until their exhaust is falling off their car and dragging on the road, and like, maybe I should go to a mechanic and get a new exhaust.
Or they need to cut off their foot because it's decaying.
Exactly. Or that fucking ingrown toenail is now like got this pus coming out of it. You're like, man, maybe I should go to a podiatrist. It's like, that's just how guys are. They'll wait till they're a fat piece of shit before they're like, maybe I should hire a trainer,
or they'll wait till they find out they have diabetes or something that's going to impair them from working before they actually get on a diet.
That's just how guys are. And it's on average, right? It's just unfortunate that because that's the widespread mentality of males, that means that things are going to get worse before things, then they'll hit rock bottom and go, okay,
it has to break.
Maybe we should do something.
It has to break completely for anybody to act. Yeah.
We got this question coming in. Good buddy on X. He says, is there any validity to suggest that most women aren't deemed attractive? Or I think he meant most men aren't deemed attractive. Is that like most men not deemed attractive to women?
No. I think what he's talking about is this like data floats around where it says like,
what are you talking about, Uncle Guns?
From dating. Hey, Uncle Guns. Hey,
Uncle Justin's been my buddy for a long time. What are you talking about?
He's my moderator. So yeah, there's the online stuff where I guess gather dating app data or something, but they're saying that most women find most men unattractive. Right.
He says correct.
And I would say, why the hell are you paying attention to anything a woman is saying or thinking that is not your woman? What's the fucking point? Stop looking to women to lead you on how to think, how to speak, and what to do.
Yeah, like who cares if most women find you unattractive? Does your woman find you attractive? And if she does, shouldn't that be the only one that matters?
Also, we know that what they say online about what they deem as attractive is not actually what they get offline, is not who they actually talk to and have dates with. Like, we know women are still talking to guys that they don't traditionally think are attractive. Like, their other things factor their decisions, not just attractiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And attractiveness is not the attractiveness for women. The way that they measure it is a lot different than just men. Men, we look, are you hot? Do you got the titties? Do you got the birthing hips? Cool. Done. Women look at, men. It's like this. Men are success objects. Are they competent? Can they acquire resources? Can I trust that they are going to be able to provide for me and my offspring? That right there, that makes up attractiveness. Part of the attractiveness feature.
Huge.
Man, we just care if you got some titties and ass.
Well, they want to know that the kids coming from that child is going to be like stellar.
Well, then, remember that one Asian lady that like got all that plastic surgery, and then she got married, and then their kid came out ugly as fuck, and then the husband ended up suing his wife.
I heard about that.
Pull up that picture I sent you in DM. The plastic surgery before and after.
On X?
No, on Instagram. Remember, it showed the difference of the girl before and after. You wouldn't even recognize her. And in the comments, it said, "You'll see her again when you have a daughter." That was the comments.
Yeah, let me see it. Let me grab it again.
She'll see her face when she has a daughter.
Well, while you're looking for that, I'd also like to point out something that's often not even known in order to even misunderstand, because a lot of guys just don't even know this. But a large chunk of women's what they find attractive has to do with how they feel. And so like, let's say the girl's like sitting at a bar, right? She's out with her friends, and she sees a guy across the way, and he looks attractive. It's not just like, oh, he's got great hair, he's got like nice shoulders, he's got a nice face or whatever. Sure, like the oculars are picking that up, but what's happening is that's transitioning into a feeling. It's transitioning to like a very short fantasy. She observes like how he walks. All of these things transfer into emotions because they're of their integrated systems with their perceptions, their mental faculties, their arousal, their bodies. It's all this integrated system, different the way guys are with this compartmentalized system, where we can just look at a thing, and we're not dreaming about being with a girl. We're not thinking about what it's like to have babies with her. We're just like, oh, she's got a nice body. Like, and that's where it ends. It doesn't go any further than that. And women, they just integrate themselves into this whole story, basically, and it becomes a narrative that generates a strong feeling. And, guys will say, well, like, if he doesn't look like a certain way, that's not going to happen. And that's really just not true. Like, women they're really, I don't know, you're just really weird people. but the thing is, like, it's not anything to criticize.
We have a wild imagination. So like,
yeah, and it's all over the place. If a guy
makes it seem like the lifestyle with him is going to be a certain way, like that's what we fall in love with. It's like this life. It's the Disney. It's the guy who puts you on the white horse and carries you off to the castle. All we see in our heads is being put on a white horse and being carried off the castle. We don't see what happens when you get to the castle.
Of course. Yeah. Well, I'm just talking about like attraction and things like that. Like, women's attraction is not linear. It's not like A, B, C, D the way guys is. It's all over the place. And it's not even on a singular plane. It's more like 3-dimensional. Like, guys, it's on one plane and it's like A, B, C, D down the road, like a railroad track. Women, it's like a 3-dimensional railroad track with like tons of tracks going in different directions. It's, I wouldn't even like bother to even like try to understand it. If you're a young man, just understand that it's highly nuanced. It's not linear. It's not like, oh, he's got fucking, whatever sort of facial measurements, and that's what makes him attractive.
No, like, we're not even looking at that.
They're not wired that way.
No,
not at all.
No.
Like, you can say something to a girl and she could be like moderately attracted to you, and you could say something to a girl that puts her mind in a different state, and now you're like the hottest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Normally it's like, never mind, I won't say it. I won't tell the secret.
No, it could be this actually happened to me recently, and all I did was tell her to sit up straight because she was slouching. And we were talking, I said, sit up straight. And it was my tone, the way I looked at her shit. Like, sure, there was some attraction there, but just that line, she was like, whoom, and I knew, like, I could like smell the arousal on her. And, and that was enough, you know? But there wasn't like this crazy high sexual tension between us or anything. But the moment that did, it shifted her into something else.
We like a man who can guide us and guide us properly. Like a woman, she may act dumb, but women are not dumb. Like women know. I watch women observe and they just stay quiet, right? Because of the implications of what like people will say or like society, how they judge them. But women can know if a guy tells them something that they know is good for their future, that automatically makes him more attractive. So that's why we don't like guys who just like go along with the flow, you know, and we have to tell him what to do. We like somebody who's like does it in a way that still feels like he's taking it under a protective wing. He's not like demanding or, you know, controlling.
But I gotta say though, I do appreciate a good bimbo. Just as dumb as a bag of hammers girl.
Well,
like,
that's why we're very good at acting that way.
No, I've met some really dumb girls. Like, there's this one girl that I knew. Let me just tell this brief story. She was driving her car and she made the wrong turn down an obvious one-way street. Okay. The car just so happened to die. Okay. She calls me up and she was crying because she thought she broke the car because she turned the wrong way down the one-way street. Like either she's Oscar-winning actor or she's fucking dumb as fuck.
I mean, she's emotional. That's what I take from that. And she doesn't have anybody to call because she doesn't know what else to do. So
sounds kind of dumb.
That's pretty dumb. Like to think just turning directions makes the car die. Like, come on. Like that's not even rational.
I mean, I've called my husband for something worse.
So here's the video, that picture you're talking about. All right,
Yeah.
Gia, help us understand this. What is going on here?
Yeah. So I wanted to show you this because this is kind of crazy, right? It's like not even the same girl.
The Picasso technique. So this is what, using cubism?
It's crazy to me that this is plastic surgery. I mean, her eyes are even different.
Oh yeah.
Her lips
she
are even
had
different.
an outward eye lift on the
Like,
on the side.
there's not anything there that tells me that's the same girl. So it's just kind of crazy, you know. I guess that's where we are today.
But you know what I would be interested in, because obviously the after picture, she has makeup on. I would like to see no makeup in the same exact harsh lighting. Like just try to get it as equal side to side as possible.
Yeah, because one is a photo. You can tell this is harsh lighting over here on the left, and the lighting over here is a lot softer on the right.
Exactly. And she's
But the
wearing
lips
makeup
are
and all this
definitely not the same. That's not her. That's not her top lip.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, like plastic surgery, like it can come out well, but I've seen girls without makeup on after plastic surgery, and they look like fucking lizards.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, that's why I say, like, when men are like, oh, I don't like plastic surgery, I laugh because I'm like, most men don't even really know what's real. And
I don't care. If it's plastic surgery or not. I like what I like.
Morning.
Like, that's how I look at it.
Go to like early morning in Los Angeles when like they're out like walking their little dogs, and they're wearing sweatpants, their fucking jelly slippers, and their little dog, and just look at their faces because they didn't sit there and spend an hour putting on makeup to go walk their little dog. Right?
It's 90 degrees out here. Nobody's walking in sweats. Okay, I'm telling you right now. It's 90
little
degrees
shorts,
today.
whatever. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That, early mornings, they're not putting on makeup, and they look like fucking lizards, man.
Some of them do. Yeah, I'll definitely do there.
Oh, lizards. That's the first.
All right, so let's wrap it up. We've been going 2 hours, you guys. You know what? Like, let's at the end of the day, let's talk about body count, everything that you hear in these men's spaces, right? Do yourself a favor. You hear something that sounds like triggering, or it you know, look into it. Because you ever played the telephone game? You know, one person says it and it gets disseminated, and then eventually by the time it gets to you, the message could be far lost, right? And you may be getting a distorted version of that message, and you may be reacting to that distorted version of that message thinking that it's fact. And if you're not willing to take the time and do the work and look into it and verify what you're hearing is accurate and find out what the nuances are, and you're reacting to that, you are going to be dealing with a lot of problems because you're easily persuaded, you're easily convinced, and then you're easily triggered. And you don't even know why.
Which means you're probably easily controlled by women too.
Basically, Mr. Justin said, you're probably a bitch. That's what he said.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, and this goes for women too, because you hear women, ladies, we know that you guys are very easily deceived.
Yeah.
Right? Do your due diligence. Look
Self-deception.
into the thing. Yeah.
Oh, you're so gullible. I love messing with my girl's head. Just telling her shit that's not true. And she's like, really? And it's hard to like keep things going on because I break character and start.
I do not.
Glenn does that to me all the time. He's like, did you know this? And I'm like, huh? No. He's like, I'm messing with you. Yeah. Yeah.
But Uncle Gun says, I don't care about a woman's past, body count, or red flags. If she's deeply attracted to me, passing my vetting process, and heavily follows my program, and makes her a candidate.
There you go.
Yeah. No, that's what it is. It's like, yes, body count does matter, but it doesn't necessarily matter. It doesn't matter more than all the other factors that do matter.
Ultimately. Yeah.
It's not the only thing.
Right.
It's one measurement of things that you're going to look at. When you have 1,000 other things, you also have to sort into here.
I'll just say this really quick. I have like on my channel and like the lives. If anyone wants to know more about the biochemical and psychological effects of body counts, hookup culture, things like that, I've got a video on my channel that goes into that. And it's about pair bonding. All right. And I break down the science behind like what is pair bonding, the real understanding of oxytocin and the role that it plays, desensitization, and receptor overload and things like that. And the thing is that guys got to understand is that it's not permanent. Okay. Because it was a state prior, then through a series of experiences, the nervous system and the biochemicals and all that stuff adjusted to the new environment, the new psychological and physical environment. So she started behaving a certain way according to that. And that's where the oxytocin gets delivered. So they start making that association. So if it can change to that, it can change to something else. So just understand that this is not permanent. It's not like, oh, she's been with like 20 guys and now she's totally fucked for the rest of her life psychologically. Not so, right? Minds, brains, they're plastic. They can be influenced, they can be shaped, and the neural pathways can be changed. And provided you know what you're doing, you've studied this, and you have influence. And you can absolutely change an entire person's psychology, right? You can make them into, well, depending on how devious and how powerful you are, you can make them believe and behave in pretty much any way you want.
That's crazy.
And you know what? We'll end it with this message brought to you by Gia's husband. He just sent this to me.
For happiness is getting yourself a Latina. We can cook for you. We can clean for you. We're going to call you papi, sir, mi amor, papacito. We're going to treat you like a king. I think all you need in life is a Latina.
If I got that girl, I'd be like, okay, every time you talk to me, you're going to do that with your body.
I want to see that ass cheek jiggle. I want to see that jiggling ass cheek.
Just every single time you're going to shake yourself, right? You want to excuse yourself to use the restroom. You say, Daddy, may I use the restroom? Yes. But you have to ask with the shaking.
Daddy,
single thing, every single word that comes out of your mouth, you got to shake like that little hula doll that's on the dash of cars. Yep.
That's messed up.
Did I tell you about that time I had I met these two Latina chicks, and then they asked me for directions, and I was like, I can tell you how to get over to.
With a dominant presence, voice cuts deep like a sermon with essence. Gia steps up, pure elegant grace.